Okay, I want to show you guys a trick. We'll just change the way you see turnarounds. Just totally flip it upside down. Open up your mind to a new way of seeing like your typical turnarounds, okay? And the idea is really simple. Take any chord and move it up a minor third, and then resolve, okay? And I first heard about this like 30 years ago when somebody told me, hey, you can just take that 5 chord and move it up a minor third. It'll do the same thing. So, you know, instead of just going, let's say I'm going to G major here. Well, I can take this. So I could either totally substitute it or include it. So, yeah, I like to include it. I like to substitute it. I like to blend them together. But here's the thing: you can move any of the chords like that, and you'll get these cool resolutions. You could take the 2 chord. And I don't have to start on the 2 and then shift up. I could shift the 2 up. Let's try that again here. I'm just gonna play really simple like triad stuff to show you what I'm talking about here. Okay, so in that case I just took my 2 chord, so instead of just going straight from the 2, which is a perfectly beautiful like resolution. It's not the strongest resolution, but that's cool. I just shifted it up a minor third. Or I can put them together. So however you want to mix those together, that's like it can kind of take any chord and like it sort of makes it more dominant, if you will. I can take even something like the 1 chord and use it. So I could go, let's say my resolution was I want to let's go from the 2. So I started on the 2 in its natural position, but then I shifted up a half step and played. That's really just the 1 chord shifted up a minor third. So even the 1 chord can be shifted, and it becomes its own dominant, if you will. I shouldn't say dominant, but it takes on a quality that feels like we've moved away. We've created tension, and it can be resolved. And I can do this with like any of the diatonic chords in that key. It'll do this thing. Not just the 5, you know, not just the 2, any of the chords. I could use the 6 chord, which is typically considered a tonic chord, right? So here I have the E minor, which is the other tonic, if you will, the relative minor. Now if I shift that up a minor third, I end up actually getting a G minor. So that's kind of interesting. Like, you know, I can go from like, let's go. So you can see that it starts to open up like these new these new changes that you may have never ever thought of before. There's some, you know, really interesting like parallel ideas. For example, you know, I can play, I can start blending together ideas like, you know, maybe I play the 2 and the 3 chord, and I you know, the 4, the 5. The 1 and the 2. The 2 and the 5. You notice that I split that apart. Like I played the 2, shifted up a minor third, played its 5, shifted that 5 down a minor third. I could shift that down a minor third again. If you're moving in minor thirds, like, you're gonna create tension. And the possibilities become like pretty limitless. Yeah, and for, you know, for us bass players, you know, like, we're kind of looking for ways to escape the usual predictable like turnarounds and stuff, you know. So using something like this can really open things up a little bit, you know. Trying to think of like some other interesting. I do really dig these kind of like these parallel movements, you know, like that 4/5. I mean, that's so cool, especially that it lands on a major there. You've got a whole sequence of majors. You know, we're in the key temporarily, and then as soon as we do that shift, we're in a different key for a short period. But it's because we're using it to turn around, it's okay that we're out of the key. Actually really refreshing. You get these like modulations. It's very interesting. Yeah, and in most of these cases, I showed examples where you're shifting, you know, up You can shift down in minor thirds too, and multiples of those in tritones. You'll get the same kind of thing. It just so happens the minor thirds are a little closer together. They voice lead a little nicer than they can voice lead a little bit easier than, let's say, the tritone shifts. But the tritone shifts will work, and if you know your inversions really well, you can start doing some pretty cool stuff, you know. For example, 4/5. Right? Really, some really kind of cool ideas that you can start using. Anyways, start moving your chords around in minor thirds at your turnarounds and watch what happens. This is like another universe. This is gonna just total paradigm shift in the way you see like chord resolutions. Hope you enjoy.